Jeff Goodell's 2017 book, The Water Will Come: Rising Seas, Sinking Cities, and the Remaking of the Civilized World, blends interviews, on-site reporting, historical research, and dire predictions to explore the global consequences of rising sea levels. As a columnist for Rolling Stone, Goodell dedicated several years to gathering insights for this, his third book on climate change. He spoke with climate scientists, politicians, engineers, city planners, and those affected by flooding, while also visiting some of the planet's most vulnerable locations. The book opens with a fictional scenario depicting Miami as a sought-after scuba diving destination after a hurricane strikes in 2037. Goodell then shifts focus to South Florida's swampy origins, detailing how, before the 19th century, the area was an inhospitable jungle. This landscape was radically altered by developers who dredged sand to create beaches, resulting in a coastline that now sits mostly below 6 feet above high tide. While structures like dikes and seawalls may offer some protection for cities like New Orleans, South Florida faces unique challenges due to its porous limestone foundation, which allows floodwaters to rise from below. Goodell notes that sea levels have historically fluctuated, drawing parallels to the biblical story of Noah, which may reflect earlier narratives about the great flooding following the last ice age's thaw. Researchers indicate that sea level rise occurs in spurts, or pulses, where rapid increases in ocean levels happen due to the sudden collapse of massive ice sheets. Climate scientists warn that human-induced global warming is setting the stage for another such pulse, with melting ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica providing stark evidence. Goodell's travels to Greenland are documented in the book, showcasing his first-hand observations of the diminishing land ice. In 2015, Goodell accompanied President Obama to Alaska to discuss the impacts of climate change ahead of the Paris Climate Accord talks. Although the president recognized the urgency of the issue, he indicated that political support for aggressive climate policies was lacking. Goodell was also present at the 2015 Paris climate talks, where projections estimated a 3-foot sea level rise by 2100. However, these estimates have since been deemed too low, with many scientists now predicting a rise of 6 feet or more by the 22nd century unless significant action is taken. While it may still be possible to limit sea level rise to a few feet through prompt and decisive measures, the complete cessation of this trend is no longer feasible. Goodell emphasizes, "The water will come," detailing the severe consequences of inaction. Coastal cities face the threat of being submerged, and U.S. national security could be compromised, as highlighted in his discussions with former Secretary of State John Kerry, who toured the largest Navy base in Norfolk, Virginia. The facility is crucial for American military operations, yet sea levels along the Virginia coast are rising at twice the global average. During heavy rainfall coinciding with high tide, the roads surrounding the base already experience flooding. Naval officers informed Secretary of State John Kerry that within 20 to 50 years the base could become too waterlogged to operate effectively. The only viable solution for the facility is to elevate the city of Norfolk, a project expected to exceed $1 billion. However, this prospect is unlikely, as Goodell notes. Virginia's Republican-dominated legislature has effectively banned the discussion of climate change. Some vulnerable U.S. cities are taking a more proactive approach, investing in substantial engineering projects to guard against the impending deluge. Following Hurricane Sandy in 2012, New York City officials approved a barrier system around Lower Manhattan to protect against future storm surges. Known as the Big U, this 10-foot wall is set to begin construction in 2019. Miami Beach is also attempting to adapt to rising waters by elevating streets and installing pumps. Goodell's research also led him to Venice, Italy, a city known for its sinking problems, which experienced severe flooding in 1966. 50 years later, Venice commenced the MOSE project, a network of underwater gates designed to halt floodwaters, with a price tag of $6 billion. However, this system is at risk of failure if sea levels rise more than 2 feet. He highlights that impoverished nations, those that have contributed least to global warming, will bear the brunt of the catastrophic impacts of rising sea levels. Lacking the financial resources for large-scale engineering projects or infrastructure adaptations, these countries will face significant population displacement. Goodell reports from Lagos, Nigeria, where desperate slum residents have constructed floating shacks to cope with flooding. By 2050, an estimated 3 to 8 million Nigerians will become climate change refugees. The situation is similarly dire for the Marshall Islands, where a concrete bunker containing radioactive waste left by the U.S. military is buried on one of the small Pacific islands. As rising sea levels encroach, this already cracked bunker could leak hazardous radiation into the environment, while seawater contamination will compromise the drinking water supply for island residents. Returning to Miami at the end of his book, Goodell notes that the city thrives on real estate development, making discussions of flooding unwelcome. Yet flooding is occurring more frequently, leading to septic tanks leaking into the water and raising fecal bacteria levels well above safe limits. Miami's growth is unsustainable. Goodell warns that if sea levels rise 6 feet, 1 in 8 Florida homes will be underwater. Many residents may have already departed, driven away by skyrocketing costs for drinking water. Goodell's book presents a sobering reality. Without significant action in the near future, coastal residents worldwide will have to relocate to higher ground or, like the slum dwellers in Nigeria, adapt to living in flooded conditions. His takeaway is both a message and a warning. If you're not building a boat, then you don't understand what's happening here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.